In today's video, I'm going to show you how to take a digital marketing report that I found online that looks just like this, take some data in Google Sheets just like this, and then how to transform it into a report in Google Sheets that looks like this. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. So for my starting one, I have some data here. And so you just have to have a date within the month to be able to populate it that way. Otherwise, if you want to really go wild, you could put daily data in here as well. That also works. Or if you have weekly data. So you don't have to have a single row for each month. You can have multiple rows. And then here we just made a drop down for the platform. So in this one, we're just using 4. And then these metrics just like this. And so obviously you can sub out any of these that you want for the metrics that you want to track. And then just a shortcut so you don't have to watch me find these, I just went to Google and did an image search for a logo for each of these. And then I just found a up and down arrow. And then this is just a character for a checkbox. So you can find, again, these online, or if you're using these same platforms, you can just make a copy of this Google Sheet and you'll have those images available to use. All right, so let's go ahead and create our report tab and we'll just start getting into this. So I'm going to create a helper tab here in a little bit for our drop downs and stuff like that, but we'll just start with the basic structure of the report and we'll go from there. So what we're going to do is, if we look at this, we have our title here and then we have some boxes. And so we can't quite do this rounding, but we'll get close on here. And so I'm going to give a little buffer here. So I'm just going to resize this to, let's say, 10. And then for our box, we're going to need a couple columns here. So we have one set of data here and then another set here. And then we'll probably need to put that one in there. So 1, 2, 3 columns probably. And then we'll give ourselves another one on each side. So a total of 5 for our section. And so these outside ones, we're going to resize. We'll make those narrow, maybe something like 10. And then this side probably a little bigger, and then we'll split that side just so I can have that arrow separate. And so on this side, let's say 80 and 25 and 65. And then we can adjust these later if we need to. So at this point, now I can just kind of copy and paste this here. So one section, let's make sure I got it right. So this would be one section. Our next section, so let's go ahead and do a couple here. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we need our 2 sections here. Let's see if that gets it right. So we got one section. So let's go ahead and start getting these colors in. That way I don't get lost here. So what we're going to do is I'd use a color picker extension and then we can grab these colors. And then I'm going to leave a little bit of space here. Maybe start in 7. Let me go ahead and resize this as well. Go down to 10. And then let's just go down a little bit to, I don't know, 25, something like this. And we'll go to here. And then let's add our color. Just like that. And then we can grab our next color. It's blue. So we'll do that here. Add our blue. And our next one's kind of a teal, so we'll grab that one. And here's where we're missing one. If I can get this clicked on us here. I just have to do it like this and then resize this back to 10. All right, and then get this one in place. And then we need another one here as well. And let's get this last color. Perfect. Now we can get rid of these, and I think we should be good. We have our sections in place, and so we'll just kind of go along and see how we go. So we have our 10 here, so we could probably drop in our logos. And so let me go ahead and grab those. And then we'll just, I'm doing a paste values only, just so I don't mess up the format. So I'm just gonna copy those over real quick. All right. So then let's go ahead and make this a little bit taller, just so those images have a little more room, something like that. And then go back and look. We have a total up here, up top. I'm gonna go ahead and merge these. And that's what we'll put our total. So before we get too far, let's get our top section in place here. So we want digital marketing report. Let's just merge across here. And then we'll put in digital marketing report. Make sure we spell this correctly. And then I'll pick a font here. Probably something like, I use this one a fair amount for things like this. Headers, a couple more, and then center this. And then we need to drop down. Let me go ahead and resize these. Give ourselves a little spacer row here. So this is a handy thing. If you see, look at here, I got spacer columns and spacer rows, and those are very helpful in that design. And so this one will turn into, let's say, a month selector and year. So we don't have that on this one, but we're adding this functionality. And so we are making a slight modification just to enhance the functionality of this. So let's change this to something like this. And then top line. I'm gonna merge these. And now we'll go ahead and just type in a year. And then what I'll probably do here is just do some kind of background color. That'll make it obvious that these are going to be the ones that we're going to use to set. So I'll probably change the font on this too, maybe something like that. And then let's resize this one. And then let's go ahead and just test out our hiding grid lines. And this kind of gives an idea of how this is going to look. Looks pretty slick. Let's add a little border between these. Maybe a double width. So this is the width or the border style, and there's the border color. And so I'm just going to put that in between, just like that. Give a little visual separation. And so I need a month drop down here. And so I'm going to go ahead and start my helper tab. And so my helper tab I'm going to use to determine our dates. And so let's go ahead and just populate some dates here. I'm going to use the shorthand for the months. You can use longhand if you prefer. In other words, January, February instead of just Jan, Feb, etc. And then what we'll do here is I'm going to go ahead and add one. So month. And then I'm going to do start date, end date. And what I'm going to do is put together a date based on this. So first of all, let's get this drop down. Drop down from a range. And then we're going to go select our range here. Just like that. Perfect. And then I'm going to change this to an arrow. So under advanced options, go to arrow. And then that makes it look like this instead of that chip that often looks like now. So I'm going to go ahead and select October. And now we have that date. selection there. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn that into a date because right now it's just this text October and a year 2024. So we want to turn that into a start and end date. And so what I'm gonna do is date, and then I'm gonna grab this year. And then over here, I'm just gonna start with 1, 1. And then end date, and so that'd be the end date for that month. So let's go ahead and just do end of month, B2, 0, just like that. And then we can just simply do some little math here. So just plus 1 day. And then if we drag this down, that gives us the end of February. So we can drag that all the way down to December. Then we have that full year. I'm going to just do this and then prior, let's do prior month start, prior month end. And so what this is going to do is when we do a report, we have this difference here. So we want to be able to determine what our prior month was. So let's go ahead and just build that out real quick, get our math out of the way. And so we can do this a couple ways. We could do this -1, and that give us the prior month end. We could do something like end of month and actually do a subtraction. So we could do this, and then it will be -1. So -2, I think, plus 1. And then that gives us December 1st. And then we could do end of month. Just like that. And so now we could just do this all the way down and have our prior month. So you can see for each month here, we have the current and then the prior month. And that will give us that just like that. And then one more thing I'll add here is some of these images that I'm going to use. I'm going to go ahead and just paste them in there. And then maybe we'll bring this checkbox over there as well. We could probably do this inside the formula as well, but we'll just do it here just like this. And then we'll go ahead and get rid of these extra columns. Do a little cleanup here. And then scroll down. Shift and delete rows. And so we could do some quick highlighting here, formatting on these if we like, or you can leave it alone. You're not going to be looking at this, so it probably doesn't overly matter, but we'll just do that. Maybe a little bit of this between. Maybe I'll change this actually to a different color, maybe something like blue or something like that, just to make it a little more distinct. There we go. All right, we'll just call that good for now for a helper tab, and then we'll continue on with our logic here. So at this point now we can do a formula to determine what should show up here. And so we can just do a sum ifs as example, and this would be a good one, especially if you have multiple rows for that month. And so in this case, we're doing earnings, and so I'm just going to go ahead and click on that column. And then we need to get the right platform. So this one, for example, is YouTube. And then we need to pull that date. And so this is where we're going to look a little more funky. So we need to do where the date is greater or equals to this month and less than or equal to the end of this month. So we're going to do that using the syntax here. So inside double quotes, we're doing greater than or equals to, and then we're going to just do a VLOOKUP on our month selection. And then we can go to our helper, and then we can just look at our start month. So 2 false, that will give us our start. And then we can just copy and paste this and do less than or equal to. And now we just need to change this from B to C. And this from 2 to 3, so we're getting our end. So now if we put that in there, you can see we're getting 1565. So if we double check YouTube, October 2024. So there it is. So perfect. So let's go ahead and do a little formatting here. So we'll make this white, and another font that I like to use is Bibas New, however you want to pronounce that. I am not the expert there on pronunciation, so I'm just kind of making it up. All right, so we're going to do that. Probably do a dollar formatting here for the currency, and then I'm going to just get rid of the decimal places. And then we can decide if we want to do any kind of alignment like this. Maybe something like that looks good. And I think that works pretty good there. And then we can basically just duplicate this thing across. And so we can do this, and all we need to do is change this to this platform, and this platform, and this one. And now we can go ahead and select all these, just holding down Control. And then I'm going to do the rest of these all simultaneously. Let's do 20, bold, not bold. This one looks terrible bold. It kind of looks fuzzy, kind of weird. All right, and left align. There we go. Looks pretty good. All right. So at this point, I think we got this one sized. So let's get the rest of our sections in there now. So now we have our earnings, and we need to go through impressions, clicks, subscribers, and likes, and then get our change there. So let's go ahead and just resize this, give us a little tighter, and then get our next section. So let's do, here would be impressions. So we'll put impressions here. And so we can actually just take this formula, and then if we put it here, this isn't the right one. We wanted impressions. So that's column D. So we can just modify this to column D, and there we go. Now this one we don't want currency, so I'm going to go here to more formats, go to number, and again I don't want those decimals, so I'll just do that. And then we can do a little formatting here as well. And then we can change that one there, maybe go up to 12, something like that. And then change this one to white as well. Maybe this one I'll go to Libri and something like that, I think. Looks pretty good. And then let's check our sizing here. Maybe make that 25 and 15. And then if we look up here, looks like there's a little faint line, and then it goes into the next section. So there's a little bit of room there as well. And so let's go ahead and take these. We're going to change them both to 10. And then we somehow need to make a line in between. And so this is kind of a faint line. I don't know if I can pick the color in that. Looks like this may be the color. So I'm going to go ahead and just try this out and see if we can get a line here. So I already got this selected. Let's go to here, add this color, and then change it to single width and see. Looks like, well, looks pretty good right there. I think we'll go with that. So now we can go ahead, and our next one will be clicks. And then let's go ahead and build out the rest of our sections here. So clicks, and then let's give ourselves 2 narrow rows. Do our line again, and then here's our subscribers and then likes. So this would be subscribers. And then 2 rows. And this would be our likes. Likes. And then we'll do down to 10 again. And let's go ahead and get our line just like that. All right, so now we can just go ahead and just pull this down. So this will be E, F, and G. There we go. Let's go ahead and change this to white. We'll do a little bit of bulk formatting here. And then we can actually just copy and paste this formatting. So we use this paint format, and we can just paint this down just like this. And that works pretty quick as well. All right, so now we have that left section done. Now we just need to pull in this right section. Let's start with this far right. So getting this percentage. And so for this percentage, what we need to do is determine the last month and then figure out the difference. And so the last month is right, or the current month is right here. So the way you do a percentage difference is you take the current, subtract the prior, and then divide it by the prior. So what we need to do here is actually do the prior one. And so we had this helper where we had our start and end date for the current month, which is what we're using right here. But if we go over to E and F, then we'll get that prior month. So we can actually take this, copy and paste this, pull it over here. And so that's obviously the wrong one, I'm sorry. And so we need to go from A to E and F. Let's go ahead and try that out. So I'm just going to put F, and then this would be 2, 3, 4, 5, I believe. And then F and 6. And let's double check, make sure that's the right range. So YouTube impressions for September. YouTube impressions for September. There we go, 172. There we go, looks right. So now what I need to do is subtract this from this and then put it over this. So how we're going to do that, we'll do this. We'll do C10 minus that sum ifs. And so that gives us our difference. And now we need to put it over this. So we'll copy this whole thing. And then what I'm going to do is wrap this whole thing in parentheses. So this will happen first. And then do my divide and then my original. Now we have 0.10, which is 10%. So we change it to percent. There you can see that percentage. And so I'm going to do a little bit of a modification to our percentage. So I'm going to go to format, custom number format. And then I'm going to pick this one here. If this doesn't show up, what this is plus percentage minus percentage. And you can determine, if I can get that 0 in there. And the percent, if I can type correctly here. And then just a dash. And so you can determine if you don't want as many decimal places. So maybe I'll just do 0.1 decimal place. So if we do that, now it's plus 10%. Now I can go ahead and do my formatting again. Maybe this will go up like that. And just like that. And then the other thing they have in here is the prior month. And so in this older one is May 2020, and they're from April. So how would we do it here? So I don't know if I want from Jan. So what if we do this? So we have this VLOOKUP right here. And so if we take a look at this, let's put that right there. Equals, so that prior month is September. Now if we convert this to text, that would be great. And we can in fact do just that. We wrap this with text. And then what you do is this MMMM. And so 3 of them gets you to SEP. You can see right here. If you do 4 of them, it gets the whole thing. And so then it shows up like this. Now, maybe I want to make this lowercase. Looks like they have lowercase here. So if you want lowercase, what you can do is just wrap this with lower, and now you can see September. So at this point, if we wanted to put from September, we would just do from inside these double quotes, and then do an ampersand to combine our text with that formula. And then we can see it says from September. Let's go ahead and make that a little bit smaller, just like that. And there we go. So now that is showing up just like that. We can do maybe a little bit. Let's see if we can get these a little closer, like that. And now that's good to go. And so now we can just basically copy and paste this down. And so let me go ahead and just lock these, hit F4, and then let's see if we need to change anything else here. I'm just going to lock these, and I'm going to copy and paste this down. Maybe I'll copy and paste these as well, just in case I decide to do anything else with this. And there we go. I'm going to leave this C10 because we're going to keep references as we go down. So now I'm just going to go ahead and copy and paste this down. And these don't look right, and it's because I need to change this D to E, and then F and G and so forth. Let's go ahead and do that real quick. So E, and remember I have this twice, so I need to change it in both places. There we go, plus 4%. And then that was E, this one will be F. There we go. And then this one will be G. And there we go. Go ahead and look at that a little better now. So that's looking pretty good. So the only thing we have left is our up or down arrow. And so what we'll have to do here is, let's go ahead and merge these. I'll just go down and merge these. And then we're going to do if C10 is greater than, and I'm going to grab, let me pull this down a little bit. I'm going to grab this out of here. And let's do if C10 is greater than this. Let's see if I got this correct. We'll just do true, false. There we go. So true, which is correct. So if C10, if 190,000 is greater than the prior month, then that is up. And so up, we have this symbol here. So let's go ahead and check that out. So I'm going to go ahead and click back here, and then click there, and close this out. Oh, voila, there it is, showing up just like that. So I'm going to go ahead and lock these real quick. And then I think everything else is good. So now I'm just going to center this just like that. And now I can just copy and paste this one down. And then we got to go through and update these here as well. So this will be E. This one only has one formula actually, so I probably don't need to make it quite as big. F and G. There we go. And we have all those in place. And so now basically what I have to do is copy and paste this across for the different platforms. So I'm actually going to do here, I think, is I'm going to, let's actually do it inside here. I'm going to go up to here. And I'm just going to copy and paste this across. So let me make sure I locked these. I didn't lock these though, so I'm going to lock these real quick. So that way I can just copy and paste these across instead of have to rebuild them for each section. I'm just going to go through and do this real quick. And the reason why I do this locking is so when I copy and paste, these cell references don't change. Otherwise, they do. And so you can just try this real quick if you don't believe me, but that is how that works. So let's go ahead and I'm just going to copy and paste this across. And then what I'm going to do here to change these in bulk, I'm going to select this whole thing. And then you can do find and replace. So let me go ahead and do this. I'm just going to do this one, find and replace. And then YouTube, I'm going to change to Facebook. And then the magic trick here is check on search within formulas. Place all. And then you can see now we got Facebook, October 2024. And there we go. So those are the right numbers there. And so I can do the same thing here. Control H. And then YouTube to X. And you'll notice I'm putting these double quotes around it so I can change YouTube to X. Again, change like that. And then do my final one over here for Instagram. And YouTube to Instagram. There we go. So now those should all be good to go. The only thing I have to do now is go back and change a little bit of the formatting. So I can change this to blue, change this to teal, change this one to purple, and then I just need to change these lines. So let me go grab those other colors from here. So grab this light blue, and then we'll go through and change these lines. And if you notice, that was a pretty quick process to swap that out. That was definitely faster than going through and rebuilding that whole section. So that's definitely something I use a lot, is copy and pasting different sections and then modifying whatever is needed in order to get that difference. So I don't need that same one. I need this one here. Let's go ahead and change that color again. And put these borders in. So we're well on our way to getting this done. Once we get done with these sections, then I just need to build that bottom section. That's like this. So we're more than halfway there. So hang on and we will get there together. All right, so let's get this last one in here. Change that color. And then let's apply that now. All right, we're looking great so far. Make sure this is looking the right. I think we need it that width. You can see it's taking up that full width. So we could make this a little smaller maybe. If we wanted to, I'm just looking at if I want to make this a little smaller or not. Maybe we'll build that bottom section, then we'll come back and revisit that. So I've got this digital marketing report here. So let's come down and build our user profiles and growth opportunities. So let's go ahead and we'll change this to 15. I'm going to add a little bit of line, I think, just give a little bit of demarcation between our sections. And I'll just use probably a gray line. And we'll do it, I don't know, above or below. Maybe like that. And then maybe I'll change this to 10. And then I'll put this section down here. All right. So then this one, I can just go ahead and copy and paste this down. And then we'll just change this to user profiles and growth opportunities. And let's change this to 10 as well. All right, so now basically what we need is to kind of copy and paste these down. So I'm just gonna probably do something like maybe this whole thing. I don't know, we'll see. We'll just start with the whole thing actually. and then we'll see what we need to do to modify this. So looks like we don't need these. We'll go ahead and delete those real quick. And then this, have this highest growth, highest outreach. All right, and so we'll modify this highest outreach. I think we could use our clicks or our likes, depending on which one everyone looks better. So we could use either the clicks or the likes, or maybe another metric. So whatever you choose there, but I'll just show you how to kind of walk through that. And so let's go ahead and just get rid of this section here. We can go ahead and clear out those borders, just like that. Give us a blank slate. And then now at this point, let's go ahead and just change these all to maybe fit to data just for now. And then we'll go through and build this. So first of all, let's look at this highest growth, highest outreach, or modification of that, and how we put this together. So I have this check mark here. We can use that, or we can put it directly in the formula. And so let's actually put it in the formula instead of here. So let's go back here, and then maybe we'll do something like merge these, and then we'll put an if statement and determine which one's the highest. So let's determine, first of all, the earnings. So let's say if and this one is greater than this, it's also greater than this, and greater than this one. We'll call it our highest, maybe not highest growth, maybe highest earning platform, something like that. And that shows up just like that. So let's go ahead and put that on top. So you can keep this font if you like, or you can modify. We can wrap it, something like that, and make it a little smaller. So it's up to you on the formatting there. I think we'll do maybe that one, I think, something like that. And then maybe make these a little, like 18, something like that. There we go, that looks good. So that gives us our highest earning platform. And so we'll just have to copy and paste and modify it as we go across. But let's do the other one as well, which will be, let's go ahead and decide on that one. Let's go ahead and use clicks. And so the only thing here potentially is maybe we'll highlight highest earning if highest earning is also, looks like these are equal in clicks. So maybe we'll go to likes for now, just for the sake of building this. We'll just have to get a little more sophisticated with this logic, because if you had one platform that hits all the benchmarks, then perhaps we'd want to do something different. But we'll just stack it in this way, and we'll say, if it doesn't meet that, if it's not the highest earning, then we'll check for the most likes. And so we'll kind of do the same kind of logic here. We'll do if, and then we'll just change this to 22. And that one's, need to go to, oh, over here. So I need to go to C, greater than I. C is greater than O. C is greater than U. All right, so if that's true, then will be the highest earning, otherwise nothing. Or highest, let's do highest likes. And there we go. So now I'm just going to go ahead and copy and paste this across. And maybe we'll just do this, and then we'll update that background color on these. So this one's back to blue, this one's back to teal, and this one's back to purple. All right, so these formulas aren't quite right now. We need to flip this around. So this one needs to be J is greater than D, or J is greater than V. So that one should be good there. And then we'll flip this around as well. So then this one will be I is greater than C. I is greater than O, and I is greater than U. That one's not getting the benchmark because it's not the highest. So let's check it out for X. And this one will be P is greater than J. P is greater than V8. All right, and then this one will be O is greater than C. O is greater than I. O is greater than U. There's our highest likes. So that is correct. And so let's go ahead and do this one more time for Instagram. So this will be V, and V is greater than P. And finally, this is U, and U is greater than O. What I'm doing is I'm just updating this first one, and then whatever makes it become the same, then I flip it around. And that just gives me that result there. All right, so that gives us our result there, growth opportunities. And then now we just need our user breakdown. So what we're going to do here, let me get rid of a couple rows, I think. And then I can go ahead and get rid of the rest of these rows. Maybe make this a 10 row height. So we're right there on the cusp of getting this done now. So now all that we need to do is just create a little user breakdown chart. And so let's go ahead and just add that user breakdown. Or maybe we'll put it as part of the chart. So let's just do this. Let's do male and female. And then I'm just going to default this, make it 9 and white. And then let's go ahead and change this to right-hand side. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this metrics right in the middle, and I'll put the chart over it. So maybe make this a little smaller. And then what we're going to need to do is basically look up, in this case, let's do average. So I'm going to do, I'm going to grab one of these. And then I'm going to do average ifs. And instead of D, I'm going to go over to H. So this is just in case you have multiple rows in the same month. Otherwise, we could have done like a VLOOKUP or something like that. But we're just going to do this. And then if I'm now I can remember, this was H. And there's that 72. So that's our 72%. And then we can just do the same thing. And this one will be I. And there's that. So now we can format these at percent. Something like that. And then maybe make that a little smaller. And now I can go ahead and make my chart. Let's go ahead and insert a chart. And that chart is ginormic with my zoomed in screen. If I can grab this pulls down here. All right, so let's go ahead and pull this in. And then if we go back and look, so they're using white for whichever one is larger. Looks like my metrics maybe are a little flipped from theirs. Have a slightly higher male. There's a higher female. So let's go ahead and update this. So first of all, they have their legend. So I just double clicked on this. If we go customize and legend, they put their legend on the bottom. You can see just like that. Now, one thing is they put the female as white, and so we could do either way. And so let's go to pie slice. Actually, first of all, let's go chart style. Let's actually go ahead and put this background and border, and that fades nicely. let's actually add that pie chart title. And so we'll add that here, user breakdown. And then we're going to go ahead and make this fit our styling. Maybe change this so you can actually go less than 10. You just have to type it in. I figure out where I want it here. I think that looks good, just like that. All right. So let's go back to our pie slices, and let's go ahead and just set female as white. And then let's set male, and so they have the other one as that other color. So let's go ahead and do that other color just like that. And then let's go ahead and change this legend font color white. And let's put it 9, something like that. And that looks pretty good. Now we just have to do the same thing across for these other ones. Let's go ahead and just look at this. So those should be good. Let me just go ahead and copy and paste this across. And then we'll just update like we did before. So we'll change that YouTube, if I can type here, to Facebook. And this one, just as fast to do it here. Oh, accidentally hit enter there. X. And then this one will be IG and IG. And then let's go ahead and change that background. And then we have our chart here. Go ahead and get rid of these last two ones. Just like that, looks great. So I'm just gonna go ahead and copy and paste this chart across as well. I don't know what's going on there. There's some text maybe, yeah. Look at that. All right, go ahead and copy and paste this across, and then we'll modify it. Like we can make this a little bigger maybe. And then just put it across, and then we're going to modify it to finish up. All right, so let's go ahead and customize chart style. We'll change this one to our blue. Change this one to our teal. And if you notice, if you have a chart pulled up, and then you click on the next one, it pulls up to the same section you're on. So if you're ever working on multiple charts, that does make it faster to do something like that. So next, these are all currently referencing the same data. If we go back to here, so I actually need to change this to I and J, and you can see that data change there. This one will be O and P. This one will be U and V. And then we're almost done. All I need to do now is change our series. So pie slice, male, and this will go to that light blue there. This one will go to the light teal. And this one will go to our light purple. All right. So that should do that. Let's see if there's any other tweaks we want to make here. We're looking pretty good. I'm gonna zoom out just a little bit, give us a little better impression of the whole thing. And we're looking pretty good. I'm really liking this. And I'm going to wrap this video up. So I'm gonna do my final little cleanup here. Got this all ready to roll. All right. So I'm gonna call it quits for today. Hope this was helpful for you to help you get some more ideas on how to take just a report that you find online and transform it into Google Sheets. Not only that, but actually make it functional where you can parse through and it'll automatically update. Obviously, this isn't working because I don't have any data for August in here. But as you add your data, you'll just be able to cycle through your report and have this good looking report that is synced to your what looks like a very simple data set. So make sure to check out our other videos for more tutorials on both Google Sheets and AppScript. And as always, have a great day.